There's one thing that's been holding this whole rebuild back, and it is this. Ouch. It is this. This has been driving me absolutely nuts. That light has been the bane of my life. This thing was meant to be a bargain rebuild, but I've spent so much just trying to get rid of that engine management light that we have actually blown through our budget. I've set myself a healthy budget of £500 to try and get this car back on the road. However, the bills just keep climbing and climbing. Although we have made a leap of progress with this car. This is what it looked like when it was delivered. To quickly skim through what I had already done, we had replaced the full front end of the Mini, the radiator, the condenser, and unexpectedly the slam panel.
Wow, not very good.
The bonnet also had to obviously be replaced, and many other problems the car had, like the broken boot lid, a couple of plastic trims, the headlight, and the botched window fix. And of course, our notorious engine management light. I had already replaced the parts that the diagnostic tool showed to be erroring: the thermostat, the vinyl solenoids, and the water pump. But as you can see, it is still here. And today, we are gonna have another crack at it. And hopefully, by the end of this video, we may actually get to wrap the car. I know we have resoldered the wire for the exhaust, the vinyl solenoid, but I still don't trust it. I still have my doubts with this heat melt solder. Something in the back of my head just doesn't sit right with me. My intuition says you need to do this wiring again. On the previous video, the heat melt didn't actually work. It didn't actually connect the wire together. So I still have my doubts. My intuition is telling me that we should redo that wire again. And for the second time, hopefully the last time, I peel off the wiring once more. The orange wires are pretty well soldered. The white one, not so much. I'm probably gonna get Mabel's help with this one. I actually got a nice new soldering kit. I'm gonna physically see with my own eyes that the wires are soldered together. Out comes the brand new soldering iron, and I made sure those two wires are never letting each other go. After clearing the code, I started the car again to see if the error comes back. Sadly, the error is still there.
Bruh.
As a last ditch effort, and as recommended by one of you guys, is to check the car's fuses. I did a quick visual check, but nothing out of the ordinary. I then removed the fuses one by one to properly inspect. I don't know if this is the proper way of using the continuity checker, but here we are. Oh, I think I have probably found our culprit. I can visibly see it here. It's not joined anymore. The fuse that I found looks like this visually, and the other fuse is like this. So as you can see, right in the middle we have a missing link. And to confirm, it's also not beeping anymore. So that might be it. We shall see. I don't actually have the fuse right now, so I'm gonna have to order one. So while we're waiting for the fuses to arrive, I thought this would be a good opportunity to sort out the Mini's headlight. So because the whole thing has been obviously replaced, we need to realign the headlight. As far as I'm aware, this needs to be flush with this little ring here. So we're gonna have a go at that. There are 4 bolts holding the headlight, and each comes with its own adjuster. Sadly, I don't think there is a better way of adjusting the headlight other than going back and forth to see if it lines up, and it is as painstaking as it looks. That'll do, that'll do. Pretty happy with how it is right now. We just need to polish it. It needs a bit of a polish because the top is just a bit sort of foggy. This is what I'm going to be using to restore the headlights, the turtle wax headlight cleaner and sealant. Hopefully this does the trick. A very simple application. You can just use a pad and do this by hand, but to make my life easier, I ended up using a polisher. The headlight is definitely a lot less yellow, but the haze is still there, so we might have to go back a little later and sand it down. And while we're at it, we might as well give the Mini a bit of a clean. Looking back at it, the car's never actually been cleaned since it was delivered. And recently, the Mini had been put aside for a while, so it had begun to collect dirt. I tell you what, the Mini definitely needed this. I started by giving the interior a good vac and then emptied the clutter at the back. I'm having to go straight into contact wash because I've run out of snow foam. It also would have been ideal if I wasn't washing in direct sunlight, but the Mini has been through a lot worse and I am sure it'll be okay. I'm also going to run a clay bar on the bonnet because it is a pretty old bonnet and there's a lot of debris and there's a lot of contaminants on it, so I'm going to run a clay bar through and hopefully get rid of that. After that, I began body filling the dents that was on the car. Superficial dents that the Mini has. So there's one here on the driver's side, just a little bit at the bottom, and then two at the boot. This is the second time we have done this, so I have a mild idea on how to do this, I guess. I think the one thing that I learned from body filling the Nissan Micra before was that we need a lot of body fill so that you can shape it. I don't want to waste my time. To ensure that the filler sticks on properly, I roughened the area with 120 grit sandpaper. The main advantage or the main difference between doing it now in summer as opposed to in winter is that the body filler will actually dry properly and dry quicker as well. No more tubes of body filler. I got a whole tub this time, and learning from previous, I mixed a lot to ensure it covers the whole area. And that's it, we're just gonna let that dry and then sand it down. Then onto the rear. Again, roughen the area, mix plenty of filler and then fill. I'm not too bothered about the shape at this point as I can just sand it down later. I also took off the rear badges for reasons you will find out later. I then began the arduous task of sanding the panels down. With sanding, patience is definitely your friend. I must have been there for a couple of hours just doing that. I started with 180 grit sandpaper and then finished it off with 800 grit to blend and smoothen the surface. After all that sanding, I needed to take a quick break. Gave me a chance to play with my new toy. What a brilliant little tool. I think the driver's side door is done. It is nice and flat, nice and smooth, and the dent is now all gone. But here at the rear, there's still a little bit more to do. I mean, the dent here was a little bit deeper than the one on the side anyway, so I'm probably gonna have to fill a little bit more and then smoothing it out. I can see the nice little line here building, so that's good. I did, however, discover a little scratch on here, so I've sanded it down and we're gonna need to fill that as well. A bit more body filler and a bit more sanding and the back is all done. I don't hate you, but the way... Again, some more preparations done, which will make sense a little later. And this time I am removing the chrome belt line, which goes all the way around the Mini, from the front to the sides and the back. I don't think we can reuse this one. These clips are strong. I guess it's doing its job. So while we wait for the body filler to dry, I'm going to take this opportunity to remove the adhesive lines that was left from the bonnet stripes. Ran out of battery. Out comes our rubber decal remover again. By doing this, we are ensuring our surface is nice and smooth and free of contaminants. Can I just say, this smells so nice, weirdly nice.
I see you in my thoughts and in my dreams.
Now it was time to spray the areas that we body filled. Spray it with primer. I am not painting the area, the primer is there to seal the area in. I masked from about 3 inches away from the body filled area and then just used scrap paper further out to prevent overspray on the rest of the body of the car.
No matter what, I always will be true. Next time you're here, I'll never let
I did about 2 thick coats of the primer and made sure that all of the areas are covered well. Once dried, I gave everything a quick sand down with 800 grit sandpaper to ensure that the surface is nice and smooth. That is now the dents all body filled, smoothened and primered. You know what, I'm actually pretty happy with how the body fill has turned out. It is definitely so much better than what we did with the Micra, and especially this one, it's got a bit of a lip. I'm not going to paint them because I've got something a little special planned. The next thing we need to do is remove all these plastic trims and the front bumper and maybe the rear bumper as well. For the special plan to happen, the trims and the bumper has to come off. You're just going to have to trust the process with this one. And that was not supposed to happen. And for the second time, the car is going to get another wash. Making sure this time that we focus on the edges, get rid of all of the old remnants or dirt. This will come in handy for what we are about to do next. And as you can see, the edges had collected considerable amount of dirt, which may well have been there for years. And after a quick rinse, in she goes back in. I think now is the time to actually start wrapping the car. Yes, you heard that right. We are gonna try and wrap the Mini. So I've never actually wrapped a car before. I mean, we've tried on the previous project, the MX-5, but tragically failed. So now we're gonna have a go at it again. We're actually gonna do it this time. Though that does give us some advantage because we've already got the tools to wrap the car, which is good. And we have also got the wrap from that MX-5 to have a go at, to practice before I move on to the actual wrap. I'm gonna start with a part of the Mini which I think is the easiest bit. Not this, that's too easy. I think we're gonna start with the front wing. Considerable size, pretty flat as well, not too complicated, so hopefully should be okay. Because we only have a limited amount of the actual wrap, I did use the old wrap that we had left over from the Mazda to have a bit of practice before I went and used the actual wrap. As I have mentioned, I have no previous experience, so this would be very handy. You know what? That is actually not too bad, I think. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I actually managed to lay a full wrap down without having to waste this film. There are a couple of things that I think that I could improve on. Maybe leave more film on this side because yeah, I don't know what the situation is here. My cutting, I understand, could be a little bit better as well. But yes, so I think what I'm going to do is maybe cut up to here and then go across like so. Now we're just going to have to do that again, but with the actual wrap. So this is what the actual wrap is. Some sort of like British racing green with a hint of lime in a way. Glossy finish as well. I am excited to what the car's going to look like with this fully on. Let's go. Off comes our old wrap and on comes our new one. I chose this colour as I wanted to maintain that classic British vibe. British racing green on a very British car. This green, however, is slightly bit brighter than your typical British racing green, to make it stand out just a little. As I already knew what to expect, I pretty much flew through this panel. I felt pretty confident that I could easily do the other panels as well. However, I will get hit with a reality check a little later. Oh my god, we have actually done it. I am honestly so happy with how that's turned out. I mean, there are little bubbles here and there, but I think that's because due to the paint is quite old and it's got a lot of contaminants, but I'm not too worried about that. It's very, very minimal. You can barely see it if you're like stood 5 feet away, only if you actually fully look into it, but I can't believe we've actually done a panel. For me, doing a panel, is such an achievement because I've never actually wrapped a car, but that is a small win. I'm so happy with that. Same thing again on the other side. Quick spray with a panel wipe, masked around the edges I didn't want to cut, and then began the wrapping. This went as smooth as I would have wanted it. At this point, I thought it actually isn't that bad. I've got Mabel's help as well. She's helping us out, so that is... I don't think I would have been able to do this on my own. It would be absolutely impossible. I then began wrapping the bonnet, the biggest panel on the car, and everything took a bit of a turn. First problem encountered. I had somehow cut the wrap too short. I must have taken a wrong measurement, hence why it wasn't reaching the end, as you can see here. So I then had to cut another, so that piece can just be reused to another part of the car. Second piece cut, and I began to wrap the bonnet. Just the size of this wrap itself made it very difficult for me to work with. But then you factor in the curve to the side and another curve at the front, multiply that by both sides, and for my novice skills it was becoming too much. Right, we're gonna make a stop. This was all coming out nice, it's nice and smooth. However, we've got a little rip here, and then this bit here as well is scrunched up. Don't know, we might have to pull everything back so we can get to here. Not sure. Not too sure at the moment. We are pretty much getting there. It's just some little areas are causing a lot of pain. I was left with no choice but to peel the wrap and start again. Right, I really know my limits. So what I'm gonna do is divide the bonnet in threes. So here, the middle bit, and then on the left hand side as well, facing this way. And that should hopefully make our life a lot easier. So much easier than having the one piece or the two piece. Divide the bonnet in 3 pieces it is. I mask the area equally in 3 equal sizes. This will serve me as a guide later for where to cut. I started in the middle and I will work on both sides later. As much as I would have loved to have done the bonnet in 1 piece, dividing it in 3 will drastically make the wrapping so much easier. A lot more manageable sizes. Wrapping is honestly so hard. There was some bits when putting this wrap on where I'm just like, I'm just gonna stop this. This is enough. It's hard. It's really hard. First piece down, second one to go. Both of these sides poses more challenge as one area is concaved and the other area bows out. Look at this. Just ripped. It was all going so well. Do a big E. Just start again. Take 2. I initially focused on the concaved area before fully flattening the front edge. This gives a gap for the air to escape, while I heated the wrap bit by bit, pressing out towards the gap. Then I can focus on the sides near the wheel arch, and then the hole where the headlight would go. Wrapping a car is honestly solid. I'm trying to stay as patient as I can, but man, there are some points where I'm just like, scratch this. I've had enough. 2 down, last one to go. As we know what to expect now, this side went much smoother. Again, I didn't flatten the front so that air can escape from the concaved area, and heated the film while gradually pushing the air out, then the sides, and then the headlight hole. Then the edges can be tucked in. For the middle joint, I am going to make an overlap about the same width as the masking tape. This ensures that the cut is nice and uniform. Holy guacamole. The front end is actually done. I've put back all of the trims as well. There are a couple of imperfections and we've had to divide it up into 3, but that is our little secret. The front end is looking pretty nice, to be fair, now that it's all green. My gosh, that was a hell of a challenge. I'm probably going to say this a couple more times, but wrapping is solid. I am so sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger, but the video has gone on for too long. I think I'm going to end the video here. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It will honestly mean a lot to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like and drop a comment, and I will definitely see you on the next one.